What's up, guys, and welcome to our RTX 2018 Haul and Experience video. Let's start off with day 0, which was Thursday, which, if you didn't know, I had tickets for Let's Play Live, which was going to be an amazing experience. Now, you might have just heard that. Gonna be. Yes, I did not end up going, and that's because of our nice friends over at Frontier Airlines. Do not fly Frontier. They are a disaster of an airplane company, and they always get delayed. And I should have known that, and I regret not knowing that. So, this time, I was supposed to fly out and get there at 5 p.m. Let's Play Live starts at 8, doors open at 7. Perfect timing, right? I'd have enough time to go in, get situated at my hotel, whatever I need, stuff like that. But nope. Frontier delayed us 7 hours. 7. Making it so we didn't get to the hotel until midnight, almost 12:30 after our Uber. So I ended up having to sell my Let's Play Live ticket. And to add salt to the wound, almost every panel mentioned it. Any panel I went to was just like, hey, were you guys at Let's Play Live? Hey, were you at Let's Play Live? This is what happened. This is what happened. Every time my friend would just turn to me and go, give me that nice little stare. But that's how day 0 went. So let's move on to day 1. The very first thing we did once we got to the convention center was we picked up our RTX bags. We could not pick them up Thursday since we did not get there on time. And we also, with our bags, got some nice little goodies inside. Inside the bag was giant little map. It just says RTX Austin 2018. It has your schedule, as well as a map for anywhere you might need to go throughout the days. I personally never used this because I had the RTX app on my phone, which worked a lot better, in my opinion, than having to look at a physical map, but you do you. We also got a nice little Bloodfest insert just telling us that, hey, Tuesday, August 14th, is when Bloodfest will be out in America, so you can go to a Fathom event and watch the movie, similar to the Dragon Ball movie at Comic-Con. We got a nice little VRV little insert. In the back it says, WTF is VRV? It's basically just a new streaming service for anime, sci-fi, and more. And you can go ahead and start your free trial at vrv.co go premium. So if you want to look into that, go ahead. I'll leave the link down below. You can just click it and it should take you there. We got another Bloodfest insert, but this one was different. It gave you 3 different phrases that you were supposed to tell a monster, which then they gave you a special prize. From what I was told, it was supposed to always be the 10% off code, which I didn't get until Sunday. But some people got wristbands instead, so I don't know exactly how it worked. Then a little animation festival schedule, just so you know exactly what's happening at the animation festival, in case that's all you're interested in. I personally didn't spend too much time at the animation festival because I really enjoyed the panels that I did go to. Another little insert. This is for a company that helps you collect DVDs and stuff, called Cinedigm. They're actually going to be the ones who are going to make Bloodfest onto Blu-ray, which is nice. And then finally an insert for Bendy and the Ink Machine, which comes out this fall to all the consoles, as well as on the back, just another picture from the game. It's a Rooster Teeth game that they're making. Hadn't heard of it before the convention, but it looked interesting enough. And then, so let's start with our panels. The Camp panel was amazing. They aired a new episode that we have not seen before. It was them in the city. Go ahead and watch that episode. I really enjoyed it. Then they did some scene that was created by one of their writers that none of them had ever seen before and will never be in the show, believe me. But they just took turns reading it in character, and eventually part of the premise is people from the audience need to come up. That way they switch voices, which was awesome. Audience participation is always great. Next was the Achievement Hunter panel, which they just debuted a lot of trailers and they had answered some questions, brought people up to the mics, and one of the best burns for Gavin happened there. Gavin was talking earlier about how he plays Siege at night to get good, and he hopes people don't recognize him, and then they'll put Mark Nut in the chat, which is an inside joke if you don't know what it is, within Achievement Hunter and the Achievement Hunter fans. And so he knows when they write that means they're watching him and they know who he is. So someone up and asked a question, simple question: how many hours do you put into Siege? And Gavin goes, about an hour. And before anyone else can respond, the guy just goes, do more. And everyone starts laughing. Jack, Jeff, it was just such a good joke, such a good burn towards Gavin. But it wasn't malicious in a way, because everyone knows Gavin's not good at games. Like, that's not what you go to Achievement Hunter for. You're not looking for the pro strats, even though Alfredo is really good. It's like you're looking for the entertainment value. So it's not like it was malicious. Finally, the last panel that I went to that day was the Texas Beef Council, the Cow Chop RTX sensory experience, which I had no idea what that meant going into it. But man, was it a crazy panel. They were trying to break world records, one of which was you had to stack, I think it was 52 Jenga blocks, however many Jenga blocks come in a set of Jenga on top of a die, and no one was able to do it. But at the end of the panel, they just started throwing out Jenga blocks, so I got a nice little Jenga block, which at the end of the panel, they were just like, come up, take whatever you want, anything you want. And so I was like, okay, they're going to leave, right? They stuck around, which was amazing, because that allowed me to get most of their signatures. You can see Asher's up here. Then this faded one that sadly started to wipe away is Alex. He signs it as Immortal HD, but sadly, because he didn't sign it with a Sharpie, he signed it with the hotel pen, it didn't stick on and it kind of wiped away in the heat. Then we also have Brett, Nova, which is James, and Lindsay. And then later that day, I was just hanging out in the lobby because I couldn't get into Werewolves, which was something I was really excited for. So while just hanging around the lobby, I actually ran into Texas and Bethany, which I didn't ask them to sign it because I didn't have a Sharpie, but I got one and saw Bethany later on in the week, so she went ahead and signed it. But I also met Adam Ellis when I was trying to meet up with a friend. He was walking around in the area, so I just asked for a picture. I actually have one with him at Let's Play Live Los Angeles as well, which was awesome. So just continuing that tradition of RT events equals meeting Adam Ellis, which is awesome. Then, I'm not the biggest Sugar Pine fan, but my friend is. So as we were walking around the area, I see Sugar Pine 7, go up to them, start talking to them, and I actually got a couple pictures with them. And my friend started to get recognized by them because after that day, we saw them almost everywhere, and my friend went to their panels, went to their signings, stuff like that. And so whenever they would see him, they'd be like, oh, I know you. Like, they actually recognized him. They kind of had a joke with him already, which was awesome. And then finally, the only person I couldn't get to sign my badge was Jacob from Cowchop. So I ended up taking a picture with him later that night when I saw him. The weirdest thing about taking pictures with them after the event is over is just I don't want to bother them. So if it looks like they're busy, I just leave them alone. But it looked like they were all just kind of standing around in a group and they didn't seem to mind. And he actually told me, do you want a picture? So I was like, yes, please. Took a picture with him, which was awesome. And that ends our day 1. Let's move on to day 2. So day 2, my friend and I woke up a little late, so we had to rush over to the Always Open panel, but we made it on time and got to watch an amazing proposal. Watching those shows live is so much different than watching it through a computer screen. I don't know if it's the energy from the people or what it is, but just being there in person is awesome, and I definitely recommend it. If you can watch a live show, go for it, always. And then, after that, I went and watched Smash Bros. With Screw Attack on center stage for a little bit. Didn't watch too much, just a couple matches before I headed over to the RT Doc screening, which the new Waiting for the Punchline with Nick Scarpino, that documentary looks so good. Even if you're not a fan of Rooster Teeth, I recommend trying to find a way to watch it because Hannah and her team did an amazing job. Nick Scarpino is great at comedy, but it also shows a side of human. Like, it doesn't have to deal with, oh, you're not a fan of Rooster Teeth, you won't get it. No, it was this human being just seeing their journey to becoming a comedian and trying and failing sometimes and figuring out whether they want to continue doing it. So then they answered questions, and I actually got to meet Nick Scarpino, which if you didn't know, I also met him over at Comic-Con. Him and the whole Kind of Funny crew. And he kind of recognized me. He noticed my face and was like, have we met before? And I was like, yes, we met at Comic-Con, which was awesome. And then right outside the RT Docs panel, I actually met Mariel, talked to her for a little bit, got a quick picture, and that was that. Now, because I went to the RT Doc panel, I missed the RT Podcast panel because the times were too short in between. So I had a huge chunk of time before I needed to go to another panel, which would have been On the Spot Live. So I decided to do my shopping. Now, I kind of regret this because on day 3, they actually do buy 2, get 1 free on the store. But at the same time, I didn't really have time on day 3 to go shopping. So I don't regret it all too much because I went to the Coop, which if you went and you bought something, or even if you just asked, the lady told me, they gave you some free bags that just says the Coop, which was awesome. From the Coop, I bought a nice AH shirt. It just says Achievement Hunter. It's called the waffle shirt. They're nice for colder weather. My favorite purchase that I got out of all the con has to be this Jeff jacket. Now, it's just a little Jeff logo because, simplicity is awesome. And then just a picture of a girl's face, and it says, no love lost. It's a nice little Coach's jacket. Can't wait for it to be cold so I can start wearing it. Definitely can't wear it yet. It's way too hot for that. But I digress. Still an awesome jacket. Then I went inside and walked the floor because, again, I didn't have much to do. I watched the Achievement Hunter vs. Sideshow on center stage, but again, that's right there on the show floor. So I did a little bit of that, watched a couple games, looked like Achievement Hunter was winning in Rainbow Six Siege, and then just walked away and looked at some of the show floor, which on the show floor, if you downloaded the Rooster Teeth app, they gave you a nice little pin. There's 3 different buttons that you could choose from, which I chose Jeff because personally it was my favorite. And then because I'm a first member, which is their premium subscription, I got a pin. This was the first logo. They had a shirt, which I regret not buying because it was $40, which is less expensive than first membership for a year. And the shirt was $40, and you got a free first membership for the year. So I should have gotten that, but oh well. I just didn't like the design of it, honestly. Then I went ahead and went to the 1UP on Cancer booth, donated $10, which got me a free little pin, a button, and a sticker. I think it's an amazing cause. They help pay for people with cancer who are adults, which is awesome because it's always for the kids, but for once it's an adult thing. So I really appreciate it. I got to talk to the guy a bit. They actually had a DXR racer contest, which I would have loved to win. I tweeted about it, but the thing is, you had to be there at 5 p.m. on Sunday, which was when the show floor closed, and I was at Off Topic. So I was not about to miss Off Topic for a chair, for a chance at a chair, not even for a guaranteed chair. So, oh well, we'll just have to get one eventually. Then, speaking of for the kids, they had an Extra Life booth, which, if you don't know, I will be streaming for Extra Life, and I actually talked to them about streaming for Extra Life, some tips, stuff like that, which was awesome. But if you joined, which I already did, you got a button. If you tweeted about them, which I did, you got a button. And then if you donated, which I did, $5, you got a button, which I sadly did not pick up. I didn't realize the guy didn't hand it to me, and I had to grab it. And he actually handed me this, which is the achievement one for if you did all three, they gave out a free pin. So that's how you know I did actually donate, because you had to donate in order to get this. But oh well, it's whatever. I'm not too worried about it. Then I went over to the VRV lounge, which was just a whole bunch of chairs with charging stations in case you need to charge your phone, which I did. And I got a couple buttons for just hanging out, and a guy talked to me about VRV and what it is. And it's basically like an anime streaming is what he was focusing on, which should be interesting. Not really my cup of tea, but I entered the contest to win the package anyways, because they did have some cool little figures and stuff like that I think would be fun to get. Then I went to the Rooster Teeth store and got some kind of funny merch. It's just a smiley face and a KF on the back. And it's a baseball tee, which I love baseball tees. So perfect. Perfect for me. And I just want merch for every group that I watch. So I have Achievement Hunter now. I have Kind of Funny. I also bought the RTX shirt, because how can you go to RTX and not have a shirt from it? Did you really go if you don't have a shirt from it? It's just a nice basic long sleeve shirt. Nothing too special about it there. And then finally, I met Griffin, which she was an amazing person to talk to. She had a dragon that she was showing off that she actually said she was going to bring to different cities, one of which she wants to bring it to LA. And if so, they're looking at Venice Beach, but there's no confirmation whether or not it's going to be there, but that's where she thinks she's going to bring it. And then she also mentioned possibly bringing it to San Diego because she has friends in San Diego. So if you're from those areas, check Griffin's Twitter and see if she's bringing it to you later this year. Okay? Then we ended our night with On the Spot Live. That was the last panel of the night, which was awesome. I mean, again, seeing that show live is so awesome. They had the Battle Buddies, they had Clayton and Steve, and they had Lawrence, who... Sorry, not Lawrence. It was actually Bruce, who played Satan from Funhouse, and Adam Kovic, who was playing Adam Kovic. Everyone else kind of had nicknames. You figured the Battle Buddies. You had Steve and Clayton, which are Blaine and Chris Damaris. And then you had Satan, who was Bruce. But they had a little skit in the beginning to decide teams. Battle Buddies had their little intro that basically said they were there for a job and they were there to get paid. And it eventually just turned into everyone kissing everyone. At some point, except maybe Jeremy, I think everyone kissed everyone. Which, one of the best things to happen there was they brought people up to the audience. If you've never watched On the Spot at RTX before, they always grab someone from the audience for a scavenger hunt. And whoever gets the person who fits it better wins. And so they had to find a father who had the best dad joke. And so Team Satan, which was Bruce, Kovic, and Steve, aka Chris, had Barbara's father, Mr. Dunkelman. And it was like, okay, who's going to beat that? Well, Blaine's team and the Battle Buddies found Steve, Chris Damaris's father, which won instantly. There was no denying that that was the best father to have gotten, because Blaine named Steve just randomly. Like, that's how Chris got the name Steve. It's just, we'll call him Steve. And the whole joke is it's an intern, not a slave, but clearly, just based on what he's wearing, it's supposed to be Clayton, who is Satan's brother, slave. So when they brought Steve up, who was Chris's father, who happens to share the same name, it just, the audience erupted in laughter. Then they ended it. Ryan ended up kissing John Reisinger to steal the Gus trophy without John noticing. So at the end, the Battle Buddies lost, but Jeremy just has the trophy, holds it up, and walks out, and John just looks astonished. Finally, in order to end an amazing night, we went to the rave at RTX featuring Grimecraft, which at first was a little weird. You could tell everyone's kind of like, I don't know how to dance to this kind of thing. But once people started getting drinks in them and they started getting later into the night, the music got more hyped, and it was an amazing time. They started throwing unicorns out, like pool floaties. They threw giant beach balls, and everyone was just dancing, having a nice time. They brought some people up on stage. They had hula dancers. It was just crazy, and it made me appreciate the entertainment industry so much more and want to work so much more at content creating, because this weekend has been one of the best weekends ever. So it's like, if I could do this as a job, that'd be great. Whether it's through media, entertainment, however I have to do it, personality, this is just such a great experience. All right, so on the final day, there wasn't too much to do, but there's still some interesting stuff. I had to start my day with Kind of Funny, Let's FS Up, which was an amazing panel. The Kind of Funny guys are great guys. If you've never watched any of their content, I really recommend watching it. Snowbike Mike gave some in-between reports, which was awesome. We got to see Andy, the Kind of Funny champion, put his belt on the line and lose it to the one true champ, Nick Scarpino, which was awesome to see that live. I mean, just the energy in the room. You could tell the best friends are best friends. And they ended the panel with losing their guardian, so they ended up paying for his trip and all his expenses, which is crazy. He has been their guardian for 4 years, but he's decided that he wants to enjoy the con instead of just being a guardian. So Greg told him he would pay for the whole trip, which just shows how much they actually care about their fans or their best friends, which is an awesome experience to see happen live. Then after that, I had my Screw Attack panel, or wasn't really a panel, it was a signing, which I didn't have anything for them to sign, so I decided to get my bag signed. I think there was a total of like 9 of them that they had signed. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like maybe 8, maybe 9. Can't tell. Some of the signatures are a little too close to figure out if that's 1 or 2 people. But it was cool to talk to them. They had to rush it a bit because I got there and there was someone right after. I believe it was James and Elise Willems were right after. But they still had conversations with everyone. And as they were signing, they would talk to you, ask you about how the con's been, stuff like that. So for first RTX experience, they helped make it a great experience instead of just going, let me sign, walk away. Which a lot of times people tell you, don't meet your heroes. Like, they're gonna disappoint you. But with Rooster Teeth, I disagree. I feel like these people actually care about the people who watch them, and so they put in an effort to make it an enjoyable experience for you instead of just shoving you aside. Then after that, I had a little bit of time, so I decided to go shopping with my friend because he didn't get to buy anything the first 2 days, which they had a buy two, get one free special, which was a little disappointing because I should have just waited. If you don't buy day one, I recommend just waiting for day three because nothing really sells out in between day one and day three. Either everything sells out day one or everything is still in stock by day three. So it's like, I should have waited. But my friend did buy 2 shirts. So I got a nice little cow chop shirt. Also, while I was shopping, I actually met Tanner. I think that's how you pronounce her name. It always sounds like they say Tana, but it's Tannar. She's Laserbeam's sister, Australian. She was sweet to me. It was just, she was such a nice person, and she kept apologizing for not looking the best, but I told her it was fine. The fact that I got a picture was great. Then after that, I went to the voice acting for RT animation panel, which was an awesome panel. They talk about how to get into the industry, some tips, just recording yourself all the time in different voices, like this, like that, like this. Just that way you have a reel to show people, which is awesome. Someone actually shared a sweet story about how they were there either a year ago or 2 years ago and asked how difficult it was, and one of them was honest about that it's difficult, but you just got to keep trying. And now he's working as a voice actor for games and movies and TV shows. So he just showed his appreciation, which was an awesome story to hear. Because you don't always hear those stories. You hear people ask questions, but you never necessarily hear the outcome of those questions. So it was cool to hear that. Then I went over to the final panel. I had to rush over there because by like 3 minutes in, it was already 25% filled up. And that was off topic, which they all drank Four Locos except for Gavin, because Meg said not to. So Meg actually came out, stole his Four Loko, brought it back, of course. If he wanted to, he could have it. He didn't want to. And Lindsay, who is pregnant with another child, which was an awesome experience to hear and be there when they announced the baby. Everyone in the room got up, started like clapping, chanting. It was just such a weird moment to be in with just such an energy-filled room. I'm glad I got to be there. I'm glad I didn't miss that panel. But that basically ended our weekend. And it was such a great weekend. And as I'm walking out, we actually bump into Matt and Anna Hollum. But again, like I said earlier, the con's over, and I don't feel like bothering them. You could tell they look tired. And I'm sure they would have been more than happy to take a picture. But we were walking by each other on the street, so I just waved hi. They waved hi back, and I was fine with that. My friend actually got some fan art, and he's not the biggest Achievement Hunter fan, but he knew I love Achievement Hunter, so he went and gave it to me. The artist is Dragon Astra, is how I want to pronounce it. Those are their links. I'll go ahead and leave Twitter down below so you can actually go and check out her art. It looks awesome in my opinion. So if you're looking for some fan art, they also do commissions. So if you want something commissioned for yourself, go ahead and check out their art. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. I love the different things you can notice, like Remy Tim, Alfredo and Trevor look basically the same, just Alfredo's darker, which is awesome because that's the biggest like running joke between the twins. They're not actually related. But overall, I'd say I enjoyed RTX, and I can't wait until next year, July 5th through 7th, 2019. I will be there, and I hope to see you guys there too. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.